Softball. The word itself seems almost contradictory. Images of powerful swings, diving catches, and runners barreling into home plate flash through our minds. This is a game of grit, strategy, and athleticism. So why then do we call it softball? The answer lies not in the intensity of the game, but in its curious and surprising history. The name softball might seem like a playful misnomer today, given the sport's competitive fire. But to understand its origins, we need to travel back to a time before standardized diamonds, aluminum bats, and fast-pitch windmills. This journey takes us to a chilly November day in 1887, inside the walls of the Farragut Boat Club in Chicago. There, a group of men huddled, eager for a taste of summer's favorite pastime. Little did they know, their impromptu game would spark a sporting revolution. They were about to launch a game that would captivate millions, a game that would evolve over decades, a game that would ultimately be known by a name that, at first glance, seems to contradict the very essence of the sport itself. The Farragut Boat Club, nestled on the Chicago River, was a haven for athletic young men. When a group gathered there on Thanksgiving Day, 1887, their thoughts were far from inventing a new sport. They simply craved the thrill of competition. A Yale-Harvard football game had just ended, leaving the men restless and eager for their own athletic challenge. Among them was George Hancock, a reporter for the Chicago Board of Trade, who would later be dubbed the father of softball. With a boxing glove lying discarded in the corner and a broom handle nearby, Hancock had an idea. He playfully tossed the glove towards a fellow club member, who swung the broom handle with gusto. The makeshift game commenced. The men laughed, they cheered, they competed. The game, initially dubbed indoor baseball, quickly caught on within the club. A loosely wrapped ball replaced the boxing glove. A larger bat, more akin to a paddle, was crafted. The rules, fluid and adaptable, were scribbled down. A seed had been planted. What began as a lighthearted diversion was about to blossom into something much bigger. Word of this new exciting indoor game spread like wildfire. From the Farragut Boat Club, it jumped to firehouses, gymnasiums, and athletic clubs. The game, known by various names like kitten ball and diamond ball, lacked any kind of uniformity. The ball itself, often crafted from yarn, string, and sometimes even old socks, varied greatly in size and weight. This lack of standardization, while adding to the game's initial charm, soon became a hurdle. As the game grew in popularity, so did the desire for consistent rules and equipment. Enter Lewis Rober Sr., a Minneapolis firefighter who saw the potential for a more organized and standardized game. In 1895, Rober formed the first official softball team, aptly named the Kitten Ball Club. Rober also introduced a ball that, while still softer than a baseball, was more durable and consistent. This new ball, made with a leather cover and a core of tightly wound yarn, marked a significant step towards the softball we know today. The game, no longer confined to indoor spaces, began its migration outdoors. The stage was set for softball's transformation from a playful pastime to a recognized sport. The transition from indoor novelty to outdoor competitor wasn't immediate. For a while, indoor baseball, as it was still often called, straddled both worlds. Indoor leagues thrived, particularly in the Midwest, where harsh winters drove people indoors. Yet the allure of fresh air and open skies proved irresistible. Parks and fields, once the exclusive domain of baseball, began to echo with the sounds of this new, faster-paced game. The larger ball, while still soft compared to its baseball cousin, traveled shorter distances. This, combined with the smaller field dimensions, led to quicker games filled with more action. Women who often found themselves on the sidelines of baseball were drawn to softball's accessibility and inclusivity. By the turn of the century, indoor baseball was being played on outdoor diamonds across the country. The name, however, was beginning to feel like a misfit. This was no longer a game confined to gymnasiums and firehouses. It was a sport in its own right, demanding its own identity. That identity, in a twist of irony, would be forever linked to the very characteristic that had once defined its limitations: its soft ball.